this thing started.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to the Creator of the heavens and earth, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham HaKadosh. Salutations to the Lord's elect in the four corners of the earth, pushing His truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And the Lord has me out here once again to prophesy against Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America, and to let your so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians know that you are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Scriptures. Now, I've been seeing, there's been a lot of things happening in Israel, but we must always remember that biblical prophecy is always more important, because through biblical prophecy, this country is going to be destroyed. Through biblical prophecy, Yahweh Shai is going to come back and deliver His elect men. So check it. There's been a lot of moves going on in secret, especially concerning these digital societies. More than 300 countries have agreed to move towards a digital society where they will no longer do transactions in cash or physical money no more. Now everything is going to be digital. And when everything goes digital, it becomes electronic. And when it comes to electronics, the number one electronic that the so-called elites want people to be tagged to control them is the RFID CHIP. Because ultimately, they want everybody to make payments electronically with a CHIP inside them. But there's going to be a process, They're not going to just come out and say, okay, now everybody got to, take the CHIP in order to make payments. No, there's going to be a slow process to it. First, they're going to introduce the digital system, and then they're going to do away with paper money. So then you can only buy using payment cards, a prepaid card, a credit card, a debit card, a PayPal card, a Cash App card. And if you notice, they're coming out with a lot of these apps now where you can send money to other people or receive money from other people. But there used to be an actual way of doing it. Okay? And the very first method that was used to sending people money was by mail. Okay? Where they would put the money in an envelope, and then they would have a particular mailman travel to whatever address and deliver the physical money. But then it went from that to Western Union, where all you had to do was fill out a form, put down the name of the person, and the address to whom the money was being sent to. And then they would give you I believe it was a 12-digit passcode, and you just gave it to the person you were sending money to, and they was able to run down to the store and pick up the money via Western Union. But now they've made things so convenient that now you don't need Western Union anymore. Now they went from that to PayPal. You see the slow transition? And PayPal, all you got to do is add money to your card, and it's automatically added to your account. And if somebody else got a PayPal account, send it to them via PayPal. And that's what you will call a digital transaction. Because through PayPal, on the internet, you can send your money via the internet to somebody else. And the latest thing is Cash App, which Cash App was originally invented for you to be able to send money via your phone. Okay? You would download the app on your phone, add money to your bank account or to your linked bank account, and then you was able to send money to somebody else who had Cash App. And they was able to withdraw that money from their bank or use it from whatever card that was linked to their bank. So everything is going digital. Okay? And now they're talking about a central banking digital currency where they want to link all transactions to this digital bank. Okay? And the reason why they want to make money digital is so they can control how much you get paid, how much you can spend, how much you cannot spend, how much money you get from selling. They want to control it all. They want to charge you with particular fees, like how much air you breathe, you get charged for that. So these so-called elites, they're moving forward with their NWO society. They're moving forward with it, okay? And like I said earlier, they're talking about 300 countries have agreed to move towards a cashless digital society. And I saw a news article on Blacklisted News earlier. On Blacklisted News, okay, there was an article that came out on Blacklisted News where basically a technocrat, in a roundabout way, he basically said that he wants to make digital IDs. He said digital IDs will become mandatory soon. Digital IDs will become mandatory soon. So instead of having a physical ID on you, your identification will be digital. You'll be able to pull it up on your phone, show the police. So this is what we're heading towards. And while everybody is playing around, going to Six Flags, amusement parks, beach water parks, they act like nothing bad is ever going to happen to this country. The so-called elites behind the scenes are passing bills and legislations to justify their actions. So I'm going to start with Ephesians. We're going to go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. So the scriptures say, see then that you walk circumspectly, meaning you're looking in a circular about way, but you're watching your surroundings. And the main way you watch your surroundings, especially as a watchman for Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is by looking at the news. Go to these alternative people on YouTube who receive various informations concerning what's going on, like Dabu Southern, Christopher Green, and there's many other informative channels out there that let you know what's really going on. Okay? So, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Okay, and a wise person is a person who is learned. The word wise means you're learned. You're well taught. And if you're well taught, that means you know what to look for in the news. You know what to look for. You know what to expect because you are learned. Okay? Verse 16, redeeming the time. Why? Because the days are evil. See that? Redeeming the time because the days are evil. And indeed, evil times are coming. Okay? Evil times are coming. And this CBDC agenda is nothing but an evil agenda to further ensnare the people, to further enslave the people. Because if your money is digital, then they can control how much money you have. They can control how much taxes they take out, you see? But if your money is physical, you know, pretty much you can save up your money in your home. You can keep it somewhere private. But pretty much, they cannot control how much money you have if your money is physical. They cannot control how much money you save up if your money is physical. If your money is digital, you're not going to ever be able to save up much money to have a relaxing time in society. You're never going to be able to do that. Okay? So there's an evil agenda behind the CBDC. And that's the point. Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Okay, verse 17. Wherefore be ye not unwise, which the word unwise, when you add un at the beginning of a word, okay, un literally means the opposite of. So a person who is unwise, that means they are the opposite of being learned, which means they are ignorant. And a ignorant person is not going to be, you know, looking for the coming of Yahushua because he don't know Yahushua. He's ignorant to what he needs to do to receive salvation. Okay, and a person who is ignorant, you know, they're not going to be in the scriptures. You know, they're not going to be studying. They're not going to be watching for biblical prophecies. Okay, they're going to be caught up with partying and living their life to the fullest in society. But Jacob's trouble is not going to be on their mind because they are unlearned. Okay? So it says, wherefore be ye not unlearned, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Okay? And we know that the will of the Lord is for him to bring his prophecies to pass. I mean, that's a part of the will of the Lord, to bring his prophecies to pass. You see that? Okay? Okay, because like it tells you in Revelation 19, I'm gonna just get it real quick. Okay? Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Okay? Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So the will of the Lord, the will of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, is for him to bring his prophecies to pass. So paradise can be established on earth, because we know once this kingdom goes down and the Edomites are put into slavery along with these other nations, paradise, righteousness, peace is going to be established on the earth. The earth is going to be able to function as it was meant to function. Right now, the earth cannot function as how it was meant to function, because Esau is constantly digging into the earth. You know, he's constantly dumping pollution in the oceans, radiation, plastic, trash, aluminum, hazardous metals, nuclear waste. It's all being dumped in the oceans. So the sea creatures cannot even perform their proper functions to help take care of the earth. You got bees dying off, which, bees are very important because they pollinate certain flowers. And that pollen gets carried off to other sources, which helps produce life. You got all these cell phone towers, these 5G towers everywhere, and you got birds falling out the air dying. So life just cannot be with Edomites in power. So it is of the Lord's will to bring his prophecies to pass, so righteousness can be established here on the earth. So let's go to 2 Corinthians. You know what? Corinthians might be up here. Excuse me. Let's go to 2 Corinthians. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? So, we're not ignorant to the devices of Satan. Now, when you look up Satan, it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. And first and foremost, when you look up the word Satan means adversary. Who's our main adversary on this planet? Because Satan has a physical people here on the planet. Okay? And that people are the Edomites, which will be the self-proclaimed white man, starting with the so-called elites, okay? They will be known as Satan, which Satan means adversary. And what is an adversary? An adversary is your main enemy, your main opponent, the main nation, the main person who opposes you. That's your adversary. And our main adversary are the Edomites, okay? They've been our main adversary since the womb. Excuse me one moment. Okay, so I'm going to read it again. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant to what Satan is up to. And the word device, when you look it up, it literally means a plan. Okay? A device is a plan. Now, furthermore, when you look up the word devices in the Blue Letter Bible, it goes back to the Greek word naima, which means an evil scheme or an evil purpose. There is an evil purpose behind this digital system, this whole agenda of making everything digital. And how the so-called elites are going to make everything digital? Well, they're going to manipulate people into it. Okay? Because guess what's going to be linked to the digital system? The CHIP, the C-HIP. Okay? The RFID C-HIP is going to be linked to that digital society. So back in 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay? So we're not ignorant to the schemes, not knowing. We are not unwise to the evil plans of so-called elites. Because again, the whole purpose of a digital society is to enslave people. Especially our people. They want to put our people back into hardcore slavery. So what I would like to do is go to the book of Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Because this is what the Lord said. Okay? The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Okay? So the Lord said, hear the word at his mouth and give them warning from him. So as watchmen, we're supposed to be warning our people, about what's going on. Even if they flag our videos, guess what? We still got to go out there and teach. We still got to warn our people what is going on, because the Lord says so. Okay? The Lord said, give them, who's the them? His people, the Israelites. Give the Israelites warning from him. Now, the reason why I read that scripture is because you got false prophets out there. You got false prophets who basically, they're not warning their congregation about the VACCINE. They're not warning our people about the CHIP. They're not warning our people about Jacob's trouble. They're not warning our people about the central banking digital currency. You know, what a lot of these false prophets are concerned with is money, greed, and gain. And in the book of 1 Timothy, it tells you that the love of money is the root of all evil. So, son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. So the Lord said, you got to give his people warning. Okay? So if you're not doing that, you're not giving the Lord's people warning, and you know, you calling yourself going out there teaching, and you're going up because you're not really warning his people. So what I would like to do now is go to 2nd Esdras. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, I believe the 9th chapter. Second Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So let's start at verse 1. 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. Okay, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. You see that? So the Lord said, measure the time diligently. How do you measure the time diligently? You measure the time diligently by diving into the news and seeing what's going on. And if you see something in the news that lines up with biblical prophecy, that's how you measure the time diligently. You see? That's how you measure the time diligently. So it says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. You see that? So, you know, you got to understand, when you hear something about a central banking digital currency in the news and how they want to make it mandatory, well, know that the Most High spake of those things from the beginning. Okay? Know that the Lord spoke of those things from the beginning. Okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 5. So like as all that is in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And yeah, the end is manifest. The end is manifested through biblical prophecy. Okay? The end is manifested through biblical prophecy. There's all kind of earthquakes happening everywhere. Okay, there's earthquakes going on. There's all kind of kidnappings. There's all kind of human trafficking, sex trafficking. You know, there's all kind of information and info leaks coming out. You know, there's all kind of floods, natural disasters. We can't forget about that Canada forest fire. Okay, we can't forget about that Canada forest fire. There's torture going on. People getting beheaded. You know, people getting judged left and right. Police shootings still going on. And then you got kingdom rising against kingdom, you know. You got wars and rumors of wars. Oh yeah. Excuse me. And then you got Kim Jong-un, okay. He basically came out and said, you know, they want to rewrite the Bible. So you should know that biblical prophecy is coming to pass when you hear all these things, especially in the news. Okay, so the end is manifested, and it's manifested by the works that are going on in the world. Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 6. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonders, and powerful works, and endings, and effects, and signs. Okay, endings and effects. You know, I was watching the brother Yashawamba from the Dallas camp, and he spoke about how China has an artificial sun. Okay, that's another example of endings and effects and signs. You know, the fact that they have an artificial sun, which they claim, which that shit is not higher than the sun. Okay, because the actual sun that we know of is you know, thousands of miles above the Earth's atmosphere. It's not within the Earth. So that artificial sun that was created by China, you know, goes to show you their pride. Okay, it says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his face. Okay, oh, hold on. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. So that further proves that the Lord's elect is going to have faith. They're going to have faith, and then they're going to be delivered. And they're going to be delivered by faith and by their works. They're not going to just be saved off of faith. Okay? Okay. Verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So like brothers have been saying recently, they believe the elect could almost be sealed. Okay? Then shall they be a pitiful case, which have not abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Now when you look up torment, the word torment means torture. Okay? So a lot of these false prophets that sold out, you know, the ones of y'all that refuse to repent, when the doors of mercy is fully closed, the Lord's going to torment you. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Yeah, 501c3 charter, that's a benefit, man. You see, that's a benefit. It says they have not known me. So when you're in the dark, you're ignorant to what the Lord is capable of. Okay? When you're in the dark, you're ignorant to the Lord's ways, which an unwise person is a person who is ignorant. So a lot of these false prophets, these false preachers out there, they are ignorant to the Lord's way. They are ignorant to the Lord's ways. It says, and they that loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. Therefore the same shall know it after death by pain. So, I mean, I don't need to break that down any further, you know. All you false prophets who sold out, who offended brothers, the Lord's got your number. Got it? The Lord's got your number. So let's go to Isaiah now, because I would like to tackle more upon the CBDC. Okay? Isaiah chapter 29, verse 15, it says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, who knoweth us. And that's these so-called elites, okay? Because before they laid down on their beds, little red-haired bastards, before they lay down on their beds, right, they're premeditating how to destroy the planet and how to you know, X out the seed of Jacob in the earth, because they believe that if they can X out Jacob in the earth, you know, they believe that they can have dominion and get the kingdom back, you know. They believe that they can get the kingdom back. So that's what these so-called elites are plotting, you know. They want to establish the CBDC and make it mandatory so they can try to get rid of the seed of Jacob in the earth. Okay, so woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us, who knoweth us? Well, I got the answer for you right here. This is who sees you and who knoweth you. You know, because Isaiah chapter, Isaiah 29 and 15 goes into the mindset of the so-called elites. It tells you exactly what they're thinking. And they think that, you know, because they're like thousands of feet below the earth, they think that nobody sees what they're doing or what they're plotting. But there is one that sees you. Now, I'm about to bring it out right here. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You see that? So the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Who are the eyes of the Lord? The angels are. Okay? The angels, which are, according to the Holy Scriptures, the angels are dark-skinned men with woolly hair. And guess what? They travel around in what the world calls UFOs. Okay? They travel around in what the world calls UFOs. And what they do is they travel around the globe and they record people's deeds. So whatever you're doing down here on earth, whatever thought pattern you have in your head, the angels record it, and then they report back to the Heavenly Father. So if you so-called elites want to know who sees you, who knows you, the angels of the Lord, they see you. Okay? And they see everything that you're plotting and everything that you're doing. So Ecclesiasticus chapter 23 verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Okay? Beholding all the ways of men and considering their most secret parts. Right. Because like I read in Isaiah 29 and 15, right? Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. Now the dark represents what? Secrecy. So that's where the so-called elites get a lot of their strength from. A lot of their strength, their power comes from secrecy. You know, they commit all manner of sin and wickedness in secrecy. Sirach, the 23rd chapter, in the 19th verse, right? It said, beholding all the ways of men and considering their most secret parts, meaning your most secret works. Okay, but it don't matter. It don't matter what you do. The scriptures say that we shall all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. Let's get that real quick. So this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5. Give me a moment. I'm going to go to verse 10. 2 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahushua Hamashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. So, if your works are in secret, whether if they're good or bad, they're still going to be brought before Yahweh by the angels who travel around in what the world calls UFOs. See that? So, back in Isaiah, okay, back in Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us? Who knoweth us? Verse 16, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. And yeah, these devils got everything upside down, you know, because what was the original currency that the Lord created for men to buy and sell with? Gold and silver, okay, and also the riches of the land, such as cattle, goods. All these things could be used to sell, trade, or make exchanges for other goods or services. So, what these devils did was they snatched up all the gold and silver, and then they gave us paper money with the intent of eventually making the money electronic or digital, which is what? These devils turning things upside down. Can you believe that shit? On that truck, right, it said real meat. Ain't no real meat in the market, man. What you're eating is GMO food. Okay? Believe you me, if it was real meat, it would actually benefit your body when you eat it. You know? You wouldn't digest it right away and shit it out within the same hour of you eating that food. But anyways, you know, ain't no such thing as real food in this society. So I'm going to continue on. Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding? So that's what these devils did, man. What these devils did was they basically said the Most High got everything all wrong. Let us let them correct it. That's basically what they said, man. But guess what? The Most High does not make mistakes, okay? The Lord made an apple for a reason. The Lord made oranges for a reason. The Lord made maggots for a reason. He made flies for a reason. The Lord made sharks and jellyfishes for a reason. There's a reason why we have air. Without it, we would die from a vacuum. We would suffocate. Okay, there's a reason why we got stars up in the sky. There's a reason why we have a sun and a moon. There's a reason why we have rivers and lakes and oceans and ponds. There's a reason why we have birds. Okay? There's a reason why we have horses, donkeys. You see? The Lord gave everything a purpose, even the wicked for the day of evil. So, let's go to Micah. Okay, Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. Why? Because it is in the power of their hand. See that? So these devils, when they lay down, they're meditating on how to destroy the nation of Israel and how to further destroy the earth and enslave the people. Okay? And their best solution is what? To put CHIP inside of everybody. To put a CHIP inside of everybody. Salah, I'm gonna check the timer on this phone real quick. So that's their ultimate goal. You know, they want to put a CHIP inside of everybody. You know, which also leads me to this scripture right here. Let's go to Isaiah. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees in their right grievousness which they have prescribed. Okay, so woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. And setting up a CBDC system just to further enslave people is an unrighteous decree. And now when you look up the word decree means a law or a decision. And in this case, this is a wicked decision the so-called elites are making. Oh yeah. Let me get that in the book of Psalms. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silent, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And you see that with these heathen nations, okay? They hate the Most High. They hate His Son. Why? Because Yahweh did not choose these other nations. He chose the nation of Israel, you know, to be His people. Even though the Lord had already determined that we would be His people even before heaven and earth was created. We've always been the Lord's people, even before heaven and earth was created. Okay? But the point is that these heathens, they hate the Most High because the Most High through His Son did not choose them to be His people. The Lord chose us to be His people. The Lord chose us, the Israelites, to be His people. So when you look at China, you can tell those Chinese gooks, they hate the Most High. And that's why, you know, they want to rewrite the Bible. You know, they want to blaspheme His Son. They want to blaspheme the Son of Yahweh. Okay? Because these gooks, they want to rewrite the Bible and basically say that Yahweh was a sinner, which is completely going off because the scriptures tell you that Yahweh was perfect his whole life. So how the hell could he have been a sinner when he was perfect his whole life? But again, it goes back to this right here. Let's read it real quick. Then I'll go back to Psalms 83. So This is the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Yeah, because even if you do rewrite the Bible, you're not going to deceive the very elect, okay? It tells you that in the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, I believe. Okay? If it, or it could be the 22nd chapter. Okay? You're not going to be able to deceive the Lord's elect. Okay? Because like Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai said, you know, his elect are in his hands and none can pluck them out of his hands. Okay, so back in Psalms chapter 83 verse 1, keep not thou silent, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and a part of that tumult is what? We got to get the CBDC set up, you know, because you know they was talking about this at those P9 summit meetings. We got to get the CBDC set up so we can do away with cash. Because the whole part of setting up the central banking digital system is basically to do away with cash so they can bring in the C-hit. So that's part of that tumult. You know, Xi Jinping talking about rewriting the Bible. That's another example of them making a tumult. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. You see that? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Yeah, they have taken crafty counsel. And what's a part of that crafty counsel? That CBDC. Because see, a lot of our people, they're unaware, they're unwise to the fact that they have a CBDC set in place. Our people are completely unaware that these so-called elites, they have a CBDC set in place. And you know, they're talking about how China is the model for how they want the world to be. Well, guess who controls China? The so-called elites do. Because Xi Jinping is just a puppet. Okay? Xi Jinping is just a puppet doing what he's told. Because he's in on an NWO. Why do you think China is a cashless society? Why do you think they got people on lockdown over there? Why do you think they have a social credit score? Okay? So Psalms chapter 83 verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And who are the hidden ones? That's the Lord's elect. Okay? Because we're invisible to the society because of the way we live, what we believe in. You see? Because we worship Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay, so verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off, let us cut Israel off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And this is what they talk about at these summit meetings. They're communing on how to kill us as a nation of people. Because see, Esau already knows that by biblical prophecy, 2/3 of our people are going to perish on this side in this land, known as America, which is known as Babylon the Great in the Holy Scriptures. But against the Lord's elect, I mean, we're hoping to be of the elect, but, they're consulting on how to destroy us. Because Esau, the so-called elites, they figured that if they can get us out of the way, then the rest of Israel's doomed. Well, which is not going to happen, because victory is already written. Lord's will, if we're of the elect, I mean, we're hoping to be of the elect, victory is already written. So they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation of people, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, And all these nations, they are in this together to forward the New World Order. And why is that? Because if you really think about it, the New World Order is really about putting our people back into hardcore slavery while destroying the Lord's elect. Because if our people are in hardcore slavery, what do you think they're going to do with our people that are in hardcore slavery? They're going to put chips in them. And we all know if you got the sea hip in you, you cannot receive salvation. So all these nations are confederate together against our nation. And that's why at these summit meetings, right, the only nation that is not there at those summit meetings is our people. Okay? We don't get to participate in those summit meetings. Why? Because those summit meetings is really about how to further destroy us as a nation of people. So Psalms chapter 83 verse 6. Well, I'll start at verse 5. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom. Okay, who is Edom? That's the self-proclaimed white man, starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. Okay? It says, they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites are the so-called Arabs. It says of Moab. See that? Moab is in there too. The Moabites are the Chinese people. And the Hagarenes. Now I believe the Hagarenes are related to Ishmael, but don't take my word for it. Okay? Do not take my word for it, because I could be wrong. It says the Ishmaelites, Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon. Okay, Ammon is talking about the Japanese people. Okay, the Japanese people are the biblical Ammonites. It says, and Amalek. Who's Amalek? That's the so-called Jew. Okay, that's the so-called Jew. Okay, the so-called Jew are the biblical Amalekites. Okay, and guess what? They come from Amalek is a descendant of Esau. Okay. It says the Philistines, those are the Hamites, and the inhabitants of Tyre. It says with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have Hopen, the children of Lot. Who are the children of Lot? That's Moab and Ammon. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison. as dung for the earth. So in other words, the Lord is going to judge you nations for your conspiracy against our nation. Okay? Okay, so yeah, man. Esau's got something big planned. Let's go to Psalms 17 real quick. Oh, excuse me. Give me one moment. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint them, cast them down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, and who's the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4. Edom shall be known as the borders of wickedness. Okay, so Edom, at the end of the day, the whole idea of the CBDC goes back to Edom, to enslave and destroy our nation. Now let's go to Psalms chapter 64, verse 1. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Okay, and guess what? These so-called elites, they say all kind of bitter shit about our nation, you know? And in a matter of fact, they when they gather together with the Illuminati, they're putting up curses upon our nation. They're sending up demonic enchantments upon our nation. Okay, so that's also a part of those bitter words. And you know what? It goes back to them being the persecutor of our brethren. Okay. Psalm 64, verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at them and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. You see that? These so-called elites, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. And this CBDC is a result of them encouraging themselves in an evil matter. You know, they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's set up a central banking digital system so we can link everybody to the Internet of Things via a CHIP. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Yeah, they search out iniquities. You know, they're researching on the web how to do this, how to do that. Well, what can we do to make this work? And da-da-da-da-da. But it's all in wickedness. Okay? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the mind is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Right, because in the book of Job, I believe the 20th chapter, it tells you when he is about to fill his belly, you know, when he is about to fulfill his NWO, right, which is that belly, right, the Lord shall cast his wrath upon him. Which is what? Going to come in the form of those intercontinental ballistic missiles. So shall they make their own tongue and fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So that's pretty much it. Now let's go to the book of Revelation. And this is going to be my last scripture before I close it out. Okay? Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Now, when you look up the word devil, It has nothing to do with the spiritual demon Satan. Furthermore, when you look up the word devil, it goes back to the Greek word diabolos or diabolus, which means pertaining to a man by whom opposing the will of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. That's Esau Edom, okay? Okay? He's the man that set up on this earth to oppose Yahweh Yahweh Shai and his people. So he's the devil, the so-called elites, the wicked, the Edomites. They are the devil that's going to come down with great wrath because they know that they have but a short time. And a part of how they're going to come down with great wrath is going to be through their central banking digital system, because they're going to force everybody into it, and people ain't going to have a choice. But we know that the elect is not, they're not going to consent to this central banking digital system, okay? Meaning they're not going to take the C-HIP, because the C-HIP is going to be linked to the CBDC. So we know that the elect, they're not going to take the C-HIP. They're not going to take the CHIP. But with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Shai. Salutations to the Lord's elect from the four quarters of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. With that, I'm going to say Shalom, is on to the next one. DTA, Abad Babal. Shalom.